If Christianity is true, then we live like it's true.
Right.
That informs our posture entirely. If
I'm
the
going to
world
stop you
wants,
right there for a moment, because there might be some viewers that might go, I'm not sure what you mean when you say Christianity is true. You don't mean it's true for you, Megan. You mean something else. What do you mean?
well, I'm a Christian because I think Christianity, the Christian worldview, is the best explanation of the way the world really is. I'm not a Christian because it's my favorite. It has actually nothing to do with my preferences, though I have come to prefer it. Though the thing that makes it true is the fact that I recognize that the way Christianity describes the world is more thorough, more satisfying, and it only continues to be that more so than any other worldview that's presented.
It
Yeah,
corresponds to reality better than alternative explanations.
that is the
Yeah.
succinct way to put it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think this is so important because we're encountering students at Summit, students in Christian schools, even adults in churches that don't have a firm grasp on what we mean by truth. We are
Mhm.
not saying it's true because we like it. We're not saying it's true because I happen to believe it. We're saying it's true objectively, meaning it's true outside of us. It's true across the board. And
Mhm.
for some people, that strikes them as that's an oppressive statement. That's arrogant. But it's really not
Mm.
arrogant. Can you give us some insight as to why it's not arrogant to say what I believe here is true with a capital T?
Absolutely. Well, we have to understand that there are two types of truths that we operate with in our day-to-day lives. One of them is that subjective kind of truth, which deals with personal preferences. Those are the things that I create. So they depend on me. They're about me. When I make subjective claims, I'm talking about myself. Objective claims, however, are the ones that are about reality. And objective truths, as you pointed out, are those that exist independently of the subject. They're true whether I prefer them or not. They're true whether I'm even aware of them or not.
Right.
They're the things I come to discover. And here's a helpful thing about objective truths that I've learned along the way, Scott. An objective truth is the kind of thing that is not made true because of your believing it. Your belief in it doesn't make it true. It is simply true.
Right.
And contrary to that, your disbelief in an objective truth does not make it untrue. If we were talking about mathematics, that would be pretty clear. 2
Right.
plus 2 equals 4, whether I like numbers or I'm even aware of how to do math or think it's 5.
Right.
So Christianity is true in the latter way, objectively true, which means, now let me back up a little bit. Because of the nature of objective truths, when I make an objective kind of claim, it can be right or wrong, true or false, because it's the kind of thing that I discover. We can come together as individuals and talk about an objective claim, compare it to reality, and say, this actually doesn't line up. Here's some evidence as to why not. Or, wow, this hits the mark. Can we both see that? Look. And that's kind of how it works. For that reason, when you make a claim like Christianity is true, because it's the best explanation of the way the world is, you're not being arrogant. Because of the nature of those kinds of claims, you actually submit to the person or people in front of you that you might be, could be wrong about it.
That is such an important point, and I hope all our viewers will take note of that. When we claim that our Christian worldview is true, we're actually being humble because we're presenting our view to an objective standard that all parties can use to weigh the evidence and evaluate our claims. Where
Yes.
the person who thinks everything's subjective, what tends to happen is they want you to believe it just because they believe it. And how dare you challenge them? They're not even open to the challenge. The idea that you would say what you believe is wrong strikes them as inherently a personal attack, which is what you and I have seen for years in the abortion debate. People get all bent out of shape when you challenge what they believe as if somehow you've attacked them personally, that you're
Yeah.
trying to unravel their character. And a lot of what we have to do in pro life apologetics is teach people the rules of thinking before we can even get our case fully out there on the table.
That's right, Scott. And the fact of the matter is, as you make episode after episode, The pro-life view is true objectively, and we have excellent reasons to believe that it is. In fact, every argument that's been brought against it, that there's not one that we've read, and believe me, you guys, Scott has read all of them he can find. If there's one he doesn't know about, he'll read that too. None of them can overcome the veracity of the pro-life view. That means that even if you don't know all the answers, even if you're not sure about how to word an argument, no matter what, you can be confident that the view you hold is true. And just in that posture of confidence, you present someone who is so countercultural. You're not angry when someone attacks the view because it's not about you. You can ask a good question. You can be curious about them. And just that alone, before even mastering the pro-life argument, is something that makes a difference.